I I started, my friend was like, you have to try this, you have to try this. And it's like, so I went to Florida in May to hang out with her. And so she's like, meet me at 10 o'clock upstairs and we're going to do this class. I'm like, okay. So she had been telling me about bendables. So about bendable body. So I did it and I'm like, wow, man, I really feel great afterwards. Like I was like, I didn't know what to think. And I was trying, she had the iPad, it wasn't working on the TV. And I was trying to just follow what she was doing. I couldn't even see. So then we did it the next day. We did it the next day. And then she's like, well, I can't do it the next day. I'm like, but I have to do it. Like I was all into it. And so my deal is that, I was a runner, a big time tennis player for years, a runner, hardcore, all that Tracy Anderson workout classes, spinning, all this stuff. And it was, I was sort of worn out by the whole thing. And one thing I was telling Sita and John before was that, like now, you go to classes, like a spinning class I can do, but that, I want to really ride a bike. I don't want to jump up and down and do like push-ups on the bike. And I just felt like I started having, I had knee injuries a long time ago, but I wanted to do something where I felt like I could really get a great workout. I'm not into, like, I've always been the mindset where you have to kill yourself to work out, like in order to work out, I have to be exhausted and need a nap and be worn out and have like really low adrenals. So, but I'm over that whole deal. And so, I just, I really didn't believe it. I thought, well, how am I going to do this and not spin and not like, I'm not going to be burning those calories. I'm not going to be, my heart rate has gotten up to like 137 or 140 before, which was, I was like amazed by that. Really amazed. I hope can y'all see me okay? Because I'm in the.
You can see you great. So it's
like, was your heart rate during bendable body?
Yeah, that's her point.
Yeah, during bendable body. And I heard someone say that in the first two classes. I'm like, yeah, right. So I'm like, okay. Terry's like, just keep going. You'll see. Well, immediately it felt better. In little places that you have aches and pains, or you endorphin wise. It just. And then, and Sita and John are talking about the meridians, from Chinese medicine, and they're talking, and I'm like, wow. So, you have exercises that are centered around the brain. Well, in the morning I do my brain exercises and I think better, it amazes me. I'm able to like fix issues. I've had this leg issue lately and I didn't know what was going on with my leg. And it's the only thing that works. Doctor after doctor doesn't know what's going on. Like they're looking for a disease, right? I'm like, no, I don't have a disease. I don't have high blood pressure, or I'm not going to have a heart attack and, an aneurysm. But, you would think that, and doctors are like, well, I don't know what to tell you because they can't find anything. Well, I'm sure it's circulation. It's probably my hamstrings is what John would say. And I think it is my hamstrings. So I think that, you definitely can get a workout. And I'm like, okay, I need to ride my bike. Well, I ride my bike. I'm like, now I have to undo everything I just did on the bicycle. And I think that it goes, it's just like, my hamstrings feel like, like I've been sitting too long. Well, little did I know, like, so you lie on the floor and you do those traditional hamstring stretches that you've been taught, crossing your leg over to your knee and that kind of thing and pulling. Well, it didn't really have anything to do. It was really my quads that needed stretching too. So it's like, I think that in order, if you are a person that really enjoys exercise and you're kind of like, how am I going to keep doing this my whole life? You just can't unless you do something unless you do bendable body. You can stretch. There are people that are runners and they're 80 years old and they're in the Boston Marathon and then stuff like that. But what's the percentage? In order, because of all of our asymmetries and and things that we've done to our bodies over the years, there's no way to continue on an exercise routine and be able to do the things that you really love to do, whether it's skiing or running, or without incorporating something like this into your workout. And the best part, I mean,
Wait,
go ahead.
I have a question, Elizabeth. I want you to just tell them about what you do for a living, because this is really, I mean, you have a physical job, and
right.
Didn't you mention that you were thinking about how can I keep doing this?
Well, I still might stop doing it. I'm a photographer. I'm a photographer, but I was really
body.
Yeah, I was an artist. I'm an artist and I'm a photographer. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do weddings. I'm going to make a lot of money. And so I started doing weddings, and I'm like, 2 weddings a weekend, 3 weddings a weekend. Not anymore, but even 1 a week. That's it. I mean, standing, and you can't anymore. You just have to be ready. You have to make sure that you get every picture. So you have to have 2 cameras. And you're standing all day, and it's not, the photographer, it's like being in the restaurant business. You don't take a break. You're not supposed to eat. I mean, you're on, 10 hours, 12 hours sometimes, and shooting. And I started having like back problems, and I'm like, oh God, what's going on? It's like one leg shorter than the other. It felt like it was in the middle of my back. Well, when I started doing bendable body, I mean, and I gave the example, because I haven't been doing a lot of weddings lately because of COVID, that I walk around the park at Audubon Park in New Orleans is 1.8 miles around. And I only could go one time. And it was like, I started having, problems, my hamstring and my quads. The other day, 3 months later, I could walk 3 times around the park.
Wow.
And my friend's like much younger than me. And she's like, we have to stop. I'm like, we were talking. And I didn't even realize. I mean, I was a little sore later, but
that's incredible.
That's amazing.
That's incredible. So,
thanks for sharing.
So Elizabeth, I have a question for you. If you were going to tell the people that are watching, like, what's the one thing about stretching and about bendable body that you feel like they need to know? If there's just one thing they needed to know.
Oh God. Okay. I'll try. There's too many. Well, what's one thing that I've told you that I might not be thinking of? Something else. Okay, because there's so many. Okay, I would say if there is one thing, I would say, like, if you, as a woman, I would say, because it gets rid of cellulite.
That's awesome.
It really does. I mean, if you think, this is the way I think about it, is that when you're releasing all of this fascia, the fascia, it releases, right? And so the fascia, I imagine it's like the muscle is able to expand back to where it's supposed to be, to the skin. I mean, this is just my visual mind, the way it works. Yeah. So I really, the fascia gets, crunched up, and then, I mean, the fascia crunches up, the muscle. And then once you're releasing this fascia, your muscles can expand and become alive again, and literally I thought, gets rid of cellulite. And my body, I mean, my pants, I mean, I've changed almost a pant size or clothes size, but not almost. And so I don't need to really, but my body's changing.
Wow.
And
I think that's really kind of, one of the biggest misconceptions about stretching. It's, this idea that you're able to get into really fancy poses, and that's just not true. It's only part of the story. Really, what stretching is, especially the way that we do it in Target the Fascia, it makes your body work better. It changes your form, your shape. It makes, and that is proper stretching. And I love hearing from you and, what your experience has been, especially since, you're leading a really physical life, both by choice and by profession, right? And so it's like you found something that's keeping you going, and more than that, it's the point we were just trying to make. It's like moving you forward. It's really cool. Thank you for sharing all of it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.